So with my clients, so rarely do they understand joy at all. And is it correct that...
Really?
Yeah.
So how does that statement feel when you say it?
Icky.
Because your inner being is not making that statement.
Right.
Your inner being is saying, these people want joy, not these people don't have joy.
Right.
Feel the difference?
What I feel is their confusion about it.
But in your attention to their confusion,
I
feel
add
your
more.
own not allowing of your own alignment. You can't help them from there.
Yeah.
They've sucked you into how they feel, and
Yeah.
you are now telling the story of how they feel, and you are now joining the vibration of how they feel, knowing otherwise but not living it, right. Giving words to it but not living it. You have to tell a different story about your clients.
Well, what I find is that they kind of do it in steps, in increments, so they'll start to do the conditional first. And is that just kind of the journey, or is that something I'm creating?
Well, here's the thing. You're observing it, and then you're perpetuating it by your observation. You see, the whole reason that we told you the, again, repeated story, we never tire of telling it to you, of what your emotions mean, is because we want you to be sensitive to your emotions. We do not want you to empathize with your clients. We want you to empathize with the source within you. We want you to see them as the joyful beings that they really are, not as the not joyful beings that they are demonstrating in this moment. You've got to see who they really are, not who they are currently allowing themselves to be. If you're going to help them to realize something more, you've got to realize it about them too. That's such an important thing for uplifters to know. You can't let them rope you into their view of life. And you don't realize you're doing it because you think you're standing in your view looking at their view, but anytime you're looking at their view, you're standing in their view. Law of attraction insists that it is that way. So?
What trips me up is how they seem to go, well, how do I do it? I see them as actually the possibilities for them, and then they're saying, how do I do it? How do I get there?
How did you do it?
I followed the energy.
So
I followed the play, the fun.
So tell them that. What would they say?
They look at me quizzically, like a dog that goes, you know what?
Well, how did you feel at first when you heard it?
I feel like I always knew it.
Well, they always knew it too.
Yeah.
They just forgot for a little while. You just forgot for a little while. You're not different from them.
Yeah.
That's the most important thing to understand. You're not different from them. And that's the most important thing that you want to convey to them. You're not different. We're not different.
Yeah.
We say, you know, this alignment, this joy, this consistent joy that we all want, that most think is impossible, that I'm beginning to believe is possible, you say to them, because I'm living it more and more. It's not like a college degree or a credential or a title to property where once it's yours, it's yours. It either is or it isn't in the moment, depending upon what my point of focus is. Mm-hmm. So over time, I got better and better at focusing. But you know, I think, say to them, I think the thing that really clicked into place for me was when I realized that I could find a way of looking at just about everything in a way that felt better. And when I stopped beating up on myself for not being able to do it, a big release happened within me. Things just got better right away. So, contrary to what I guess I learned from everybody around me, instead of fixating on what I needed to change, I tried to just let it go. And it's like the less I focused on it, the better it got. That's just my experience. I don't know, it might work for you, but try it a little bit. So if it was something that I didn't want in my life, I talked about it as little as I could. I stopped telling the story. I stopped using words like what trips me up. I stopped using words like what I notice or what keeps happening. I stopped using words like it seems to always be this way. And I started using softer, more general words. And then I started noticing that those softer, general words seemed to be loosening things up, and things just got better for me. Didn't happen all at once. In fact, it happened so gradually, it's hard to even explain to somebody else how it happened. Just happened so gradually that now I can't hardly even remember ever being otherwise, so it feels like I was just born like that. And yet every now and again I get a glimpse of something and I remember. I let a lot of it go. You have to explain to them these things. If you are going to empower anyone to their own powerful, deliberate life experience, you have to explain at a minimum these things. This is a vibrational universe. We don't realize that it is because we are so good at deciphering it with all of our physical senses, but it is vibrational, and the scientists are beginning to know it too. We are vibrational, and we are emanating a vibration all the time, and what we put out is what we get back. The more ornery I am, the more ornery other people are with me. It's like I'm floating around on these discs. We told that story for a while. People seem to resonate with that. I wake up and I'm ornery, and it's like I'm on the ornery disc. And all through the day, everybody that I meet is kind of like on the ornery disc. And I think, why don't you get away from me? And then I realize, well, they're on the same disc that I'm on. They're on the ornery disc with me. I want them to go away, but they won't go away. And the ornerier I am, and the more ornery ones I notice of them, the more we just hang out on the ornery disc. But then I began to notice that when I go to sleep at night, it's like the disc stops spinning for a while. It's like I got to push the reset button. It's like my point of attraction subsided just enough that I could get another run at it. And so when I started waking up and realizing it was a new day and starting out with things that were softer or more general that felt better, every day it just got a little better and a little better and a little better and a little better. There are always people who will argue for their limitations. And there are always people that will be standing in a terrible place wanting someone else to do something about the terrible place they stand in. And that's the hardest thing, say to your friends. That's the hardest thing for me to get across with people. It's the hardest thing for me to overcome myself, because my natural instinct is to want to help somebody when they're in trouble. But the more I focus on their trouble, the less I am able to help them. And so I started sort of looking away. I started remembering when things were better for them, or focusing upon their positive aspects, or focusing on other people. I didn't let them get to me so much. And more than one of them said to me, well, you're just not there for me anymore. Why won't you be there for me? I need you to be there for me. And then tell them, I told them, I can't be there for you, but I'll be over here for you. I'm over here for you. I'm over here with your success. I'm over here with your prosperity. And then show them the list that you are writing about them. When Esther has someone that she cares about that is having difficulty, she will write 100 focus wheels in a week's time about that person from source point of view. From source point of view. Until she has reminded herself who that person really is. And in the majority of cases, when she's now with that person, they're responding differently to her than before she wrote the focus wheels. And differently to her than they are to the other people in her world or in their world. This law of attraction is a powerful, powerful thing. So these are the things that at a minimum you want to convey to anyone that you're wanting to convince or teach or guide about what you are coming to know. We are all vibrational, whether we know that we are or not. And the way we feel indicates our point of attraction. Period. The happier I am, the more obvious it is to me why happy things come to me. And the more ornery I am, the more obvious it is to me why ornery producing things come to me. So I just started noticing. I sort of gave myself the test. I started caring about how I felt. I started noticing how I felt until I was sure of the correlation. I proved it to myself. I proved it to myself. Every time I slammed my finger in the door, I was already in a negative state. Every time I got a paper cut, it was perfect. Every time something didn't go well for me in a moment, if I took the time to stop and think about it, I acknowledged the absolute correlation between the momentum I had going and the emotion that I was feeling and what came next. And so I decided to catch that momentum at earlier stages before it got so carried away. Because I was like so many people, maybe even like you could say to your friend, where I wasn't sensitive early on, the momentum really got going, something really got in a place I didn't want it to be, and then I tried to fix it and couldn't. And then I came to the conclusion, I'm not good at this, or I'm not worthy, or it's somebody else's fault, or I don't have control. So then I started noticing how many people are assigning reasons about why their life isn't going well. Oh, it's karma. I must have been bad in a past life. Or it's the way my mother treated me in the early years of my life experience. Or it's because I was born into this community. Or because my family didn't have any money. Or because we were born into this religion. Or because we were ridiculed in this way. There are so many bogus reasons that people are using to explain why things are not going well for them. And every one of them a flawed premise. Every one of them not true. Every one of them not true. And every one of them binding them right there because they are arguing for limitations, and therefore the universe is saying, oh, that's what's active in your vibration. Here's some more, here's some more, here's some more. Well, law of attraction, you should be like I want God to be. God, you should be like I want God to be. You should give me what I want, not what I'm attracting. You should let me be the one exception in all of the universe. You should encourage me to send out vibrations that are different from what I want, and you should give me what I want anyway. We say, you have not served anyone by being arbitrary in that way. The best gift that you could give to anyone is to treat them exactly like their inner being does, to love them no matter what they are doing or offering vibrationally, but not try to compensate for their misguided vibration by trying to fix something with action. When your children are really having a no good, very bad day, and you cheer them up or try to reward them with things that make them feel better, you teach them conditional living that will not serve them. Because the powers that be, the universe at large, the law of attraction, and every force in the universe is not going to operate in that way. They're going to get how they feel, you see. This is the best sales job we've ever done on convincing you that you must take seriously the way you feel. And you must start early in the day at honing the way you feel and maintaining your good feeling as long as you can. And then watch the evidence that law of attraction gives back to you. And before you know it, you will feel like the most blessed person that you've ever known. You will say things to others, things are always working out for me. Things are always working out for me. Things are always working out for me. Well, that's not fair that things are always working out for you. Things are not always working out for me. Why are things not always working out for me? Because you keep saying things are never working out for me. You just got to be true to what you know. Breathe it, live it, sleep it, exude it, let it come out of you morning, noon, and night. Never stop knowing what you know and never stop expressing what you know. Let it radiate in everything that you are. And those who want to know it will flock to you. They will flock to you. Really good. Really good.
Esther looks happy.